Hello everyone and welcome back to our CSS training. Right, my name is Daniel Shonga and I'm a software developer and an instructor at Alibian Solutions, where we teach people to upskill themselves in tech, but not just in tech but also as a problem solver as a whole. So in this class we're going to be continuing with the position, ZDX and floating, just to look at what these are and how this can help us style our websites properly. So we talk about the position of relative. So an element with position relative is positioned to its normal position. Its position relative to the normal position, right? So if it has a certain position and you're using a relative, that means relative to that position which it was placed initially. So the setting is top, right, bottom, and left of a relatively positioned element, and it will cause the element to be adjusted away from its normal position, but other content will still remain there. I'm going to show you what that means very soon. And the position property is used to specify position scheme for an element. By default, the positioning is static, which makes everything scroll on a normal flow in website. And for inline elements, the position is left to right, while for block elements, the position is from top to bottom. So let's just go to our VS Code and see what that is. Alright, so I've created three boxes. That's three div boxes, right? And a container under them. So I've given them a style. And let's go see what that looks like. So right, this is what we have, right? These are the three boxes tagged on top of each other. So you can notice now, these are block elements, and this is where their position is from top to bottom. If it was an inline element, it would be from left to right. Right now, let's apply position to this particular box one and see how it looks like. So I'm going to just be commenting this, and then on the box one, I'm applying a position of relative, right? And the top property is 30 pixel and the left property is 70 pixel. And let's go see what that does on our front end on our website. Can you see? Now initially the position was at this point, right? So it moved 30 pixel away from the top. That was the first thing it did. That was supposed to be wrote. And then 70 pixel away from the left, which is what specified, right? And that's what we have. So that's what we call relative position. It's relative to the initial position that this particular div box was placed at, right? So that's what the relative position is. And then we're going to be looking at the absolute position, and it is positioned with absolute. It is positioned absolute, and the elements that position is the way it is positioned is in relation to the browser, not in relation to the parent element. Now notice the difference between the relative position. This is in relation to where it was before, which is within the parent. But now the absolute positioning is related to the browser entirely, not just with the parents. Now let's see how that looks like. So I'm going to convert this to an absolute position, right? So I'm going to leave this as 30 and 70 just to see how this turns out. Right, so let me refresh this. Can you see now? It is this is the container holding the three boxes. But now you can see that this box one is in relation to this parent. This is 30 pixel from the top and 70 pixel from the left. So it's not in relation with this container anymore. So then we can now look at another one, which is the relative absolute. And if you want an element to be positioned absolutely in relation to this parent, or if you want an element to move within the parent, give the parent a position of relative and we give the child a position of absolute. So let's now see what that is and how it solves our problem for us. So in our container now, this is the parent holding three of them, three boxes. I'll come here and I'll apply a position of relative, right? So that if I'm applying the position of absolute to this box element, what it does is that this box one is going to be in absolute position of this container, not of the whole web page or the whole window now. So I see now. But then you notice that in absolute position, when you position it, other elements or other boxes move adjusted to fill the content, right? So once it is absolutely positioned, it's like it's no longer there anymore. This is just like filling an empty space, and it is layered on top of the rest, right? So that's how absolute position and relative absolute position works. So we're going to look at the fixed position as well. And if you want an element to remain fixed when a user scroll a long page, right, simply just give it a position of fixed. So once you can just come there and just apply fixed position, just change this to fixed, and then your element will be positioned at that fixed position that it just placed. Right, it will position that fixed position just placed. Now let's look at the Z index property. And the Z index property specifies the stack order, right? And an element with a greater Z index, the Z index stack order will always stay in front of an element with a lower Z index stack order. Let me just show you what this is. So for box 1, presently, if you check our box 1 now, that's the highest stack order, right? It's placed on top of everything. Now let me try increasing the Z index of this box 2 that is placed beneath it. So I'm going to go to this box 2. Let me just go to box 2. That I'll give it a Z index. Let's say I'm going to give it 2 pixels. I'm hoping this 2 pixels has a greater stack order than this one. Okay, see me, it doesn't. Let me just move it to something even higher that I believe that this should not have. Right, so I'm giving 999, knowing that this should have the amount of Z index here. So, but you notice that this isn't working right now, and it's because presently this is taking. I feel like this is taking the highest Z index, and if you want to make sure that this element actually stands above this, I have to give this particular element a lower Z index. So I can also do that by coming this way. I can give this box 1. Let's give it a Z index of 2 pixels, right? So let's go back to our browser and refresh. So as you can notice, it's still not working, and this is because note the Z index property only works on elements with the position property. But if you don't specify position to the Z index property, it would not work. So let me go for this and give it a position of absolute as well. Right, I'm going to give it the position of absolute, and then I'm going to say okay, top 20 pixel, and then left 60 pixel. Right, let me first see how that looks like on the browser. Right, I have this. So now box 2, as you can notice now, box 2 is now stacked above box 1 automatically because I've given them higher Z index property. Alright, so we're going to be talking next about the float property. And the float property allows you to take an element in a normal flow and then place it on the left or right of the containing element as possible. So it is important that to always clear the floated element by giving the apparent a property of overflow hidden. Alright, so the float values. And then we have about 4 floating values that we can work with. So the first one is the float is the left, that floats the elements to the left, and then we have the right, which floats the elements to the right. We have the initials that set the properties to the default value, and then we have the inherit, and this inherit property from its parent elements. Alright, so let's just work with floating and see how it looks like. So I've created a container holding 2 boxes, right, with 2 text each in each of them. So and then I've given it a style. I've given the box 1 a width of 200 and a background color, and then I've given the box 2 a width of 150 and a background color as well. So let's see how that looks like on the browser presently. So I have this. So this is how it looks like. This is how it looks like presently. Right, it is stacked above one another. So on this element now, I'm going to be applying a float property of left, which moves it to the left, and then this one I'm going to apply float property of right, which moves it to the right. So we can see how that looks like. So I'm going to apply float left, and on this I'm going to be applying a float of right. Right. So now let's go check that on the browser. So now you can see that this is now on the left and this is now placed on the right now, right? But now we can notice an issue now. When we did that, there was a background color of white here and it was removed, right? So to fix that, we actually need to clear the float, or we need to set an overflow property on the parent element, which is the container only name. So I can set an overflow property here. I set it to auto, or I can make it hidden instead, but let's use auto just to fix that. And as you can see now, the floating the white background now is showing once you've set that to auto. So this is we've come to the end of our training, our tutorial for the position in Z-index and floating, and I hope you learned at least a little about how you can use it, and you should be ready to just put that into some little practice. So an advice I'll give you is just in your spare time, just go ahead and look at some websites that you love and you've seen them, and look at how you can apply floating and positioning and even Z-index to do some of the things that you can see the website doing or they have done, right? And I'm sure that you will really gain an insight to what they are, to the ways that they did their website and how they did it. So, and that will be very important for you, for you to master what I've actually taught you. So thank you very much for watching this video, and please make sure to subscribe and hit the like button if you find this helpful, and if you think this is something you always want to be seeing, right? So, and I'll see you in the next class. Have a nice day.